Look, I need to tell you something that might be uncomfortable. Emotional dependency masquerades as love, but it's not. It dresses itself up as a deep connection, as a need, as I can't live without you. But actually, it's something else entirely. Something that looks like companionship from a distance, but feels completely different when you're in it. Genuine companionship is two whole people choosing to share their lives. Emotional dependency is two half people trying to make one functional person. And the difference matters enormously. One leads to genuine connection, and the other to resentment, exhaustion, and the slow suffocation of both people involved. The psychologist Erich Fromm wrote in The Art of Loving, "Immature love says, I love you because I need you. Mature love says, I need you because I love you." That distinction is everything. Dependency needs the other person to function. Companionship wants the other person because they enrich an already functioning life. The first is desperation. The second is choice. Think about what emotional dependency actually looks like. It needs constant reassurance that you're loved. It's feeling anxious when your partner isn't immediately available. It's making someone else responsible for your emotional state. It's falling apart when they're having a bad day because their mood determines yours. It's having no sense of yourself outside the relationship. It's feeling like you'll die if they leave, not metaphorically, but as a genuine panic that rises in your chest. And from the outside, this can look like deep love, like passion, like a profound connection. People romanticize it. I can't live without you sounds poetic. It sounds devoted, but actually, it's terrifying. Because if you genuinely can't live without someone, you're not in a relationship. You're on life support. And the other person isn't your partner. They're your life support machine. I've watched this dynamic destroy relationships. One person needs everything. Constant attention, constant validation, constant emotional management. The other person provides it, often willingly at first, because it feels good to be needed. But eventually, the provider burns out. They start to feel trapped, responsible for someone else's emotional well-being in a way that's unsustainable, and the dependent person doesn't even realize what they're doing because they've confused need with love. The therapist Esther Perel talks about how modern relationships are suffocating under the weight of our expectations. We want our partner to be everything: a best friend, a therapist, a cheerleader, and an entertainment committee. But no single person can be all of that. And when we make someone responsible for our emotional stability, we're not just asking too much. We're fundamentally misunderstanding what relationships are meant to provide. Companionship, genuine companionship, is something else entirely. It's two people who are okay on their own, but choose to be together because it's better. Not necessary, not required for survival, just better, more enjoyable, more rich, more full. It's an enhancement, not a completion. The poet Khalil Gibran wrote, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you." That's companionship. There's closeness, yes, but there's also space. Room to breathe, room to be yourself, room to have your own life, your own friends, your own interests, your own emotional landscape that doesn't require constant management from your partner. Dependency can't tolerate space. Space feels like abandonment. Space triggers panic, because if you're not getting constant input from the other person, you don't know how to regulate yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't know how to feel, okay? So you cling, you demand, you need, and you call it love, because you don't know what else to call this desperate, drowning feeling. Here's the thing, we all have dependency needs. That's normal. That's human. The psychologist John Bowlby's attachment theory shows that we're wired to form attachments, to need connection, to seek security in relationships. That's healthy. But there's a difference between healthy attachment and unhealthy dependency. Healthy attachment says, I trust you'll be there when I need you. Unhealthy dependency says, I need you to be there every moment or I'll fall apart. The difference is in regulation. People with healthy attachment can regulate themselves most of the time. They have internal resources. They can soothe themselves, think clearly, and function independently. They turn to their partner for support during genuinely difficult times, but they're not constantly in need of rescue. People with unhealthy dependencies can't regulate their own behavior. Their partner is their regulation. Without the partner, they're dysregulated, anxious, and unable to function. And look, I have compassion for this. Emotional dependency usually comes from somewhere. From childhood neglect, inconsistent caregiving, or trauma. From learning early that you can't trust yourself, that you need someone else to make you okay. It's not a character flaw. It's an adaptation. It's a wound. But understanding where it comes from doesn't make it less destructive in your adult relationships. The writer Bell Hooks said, "The word love is most often defined as a noun, yet we would all love better if we used it as a verb." Love as a noun is passive. It's a thing you have or feel. Love as a verb is active. It's something you do, a choice you make. Dependency is passive. It happens to you, you're swept up in it. Companionship is active. It's something you build deliberately, with care. Now, some people confuse emotional dependency with interdependence, and they're not the same thing at all. Interdependence is healthy. It's recognizing that we're social creatures who benefit from connection. It's building a life together where you support each other and are better together than apart. But crucially, in interdependence, both people remain whole. They lean on each other, yes, but they're not collapsing onto each other. Think of it like two pillars supporting a roof. If both pillars are strong, they can hold significant weight together. But if one pillar is crumbling and leaning entirely on the other, eventually both will fall. That's the difference. Interdependence is mutual support between two strong structures. Dependency is one person using another as a crutch, or worse, as the entirety of their structural integrity. I know someone who spent years in a relationship where their partner needed constant emotional management. Every day was about managing their partner's anxiety, their insecurity, their needs. And they did it lovingly, patiently, because they thought that's what love meant. But eventually, they realized they'd disappeared. They had no energy left for their own life. They existed only to keep their partner stable. And when they tried to create space, to reclaim some of their own life, their partner interpreted it as abandonment, as betrayal, as proof they didn't really love them. That's the bind of emotional dependency. If you try to establish healthy boundaries, the dependent person experiences it as rejection because they've made you responsible for their well-being. So any attempt to return that responsibility to them feels like you're abandoning them. You're trapped between your own survival and theirs. And that's not companionship. That's hostage-taking, even if it's unconscious. The psychiatrist Carl Jung wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." That's what should happen in relationships. Both people grow. Both people change. Both people become more themselves through the connection. But dependency doesn't allow transformation. It requires stasis, because any change threatens the fragile equilibrium where one person is the stable one and the other is being stabilized. So what does healthy companionship actually look like? It looks like two people who have their own lives, their own identities, their own sources of meaning and joy. People who come together because they genuinely enjoy each other, who support each other during hard times without making the other person responsible for fixing them, who can tolerate distance without panic, who can handle conflict without catastrophizing, who can be vulnerable without being helpless. It looks like saying, "I'm struggling," and meaning, "I'm going through something difficult and I'd appreciate your support," rather than, "I'm falling apart and you need to put me back together." It looks like receiving comfort without demanding constant reassurance. It looks like trusting that the relationship is solid, even when you're not physically together. It seems like having bad days without making them your partner's emergency. The writer Alain de Botton says, "Compatibility is an achievement of love. It must not be its precondition." What he means is that good relationships require work. They need both people to take responsibility for their own growth, healing, and emotional regulation. You're not looking for someone who completes you. You're looking for someone you can build with, two complete people creating something together. But this requires something that emotional dependency actively prevents: self-knowledge. You have to know yourself. You have to understand your patterns, your triggers, and your needs. You have to be able to distinguish between what's your stuff and what's relationship stuff. And if you're emotionally dependent, you can't do this. You're too fused with the other person. Their stuff becomes your stuff. Your stuff becomes their responsibility. There's no clear boundary between you and them. The work of becoming someone capable of companionship rather than dependency is internal. It's learning to self-soothe, to sit with discomfort without immediately needing someone else to make it better, and to know that you can survive difficult emotions without rescue. Learning that being alone doesn't mean being abandoned. Learning that your worth isn't determined by whether someone else is paying attention to you. This isn't easy work. It's often therapeutic work, because emotional dependency is usually rooted in attachment wounds that need healing. But it's necessary work if you want relationships that don't eventually implode under the weight of impossible expectations. The psychologist Harriet Lerner writes, "Anxiety is extremely contagious, but so is calm." In emotional dependency, you're constantly catching each other's anxiety. One person's panic triggers the others, which in turn intensifies the first person's panic, further strengthening the other's response. It's an anxiety feedback loop, but in healthy companionship, there's enough individual stability that you can help calm each other rather than amplifying each other's distress. Part of what makes this hard to see is that our culture romanticizes dependency. Songs about not being able to live without someone, films where people lose themselves in love, stories where obsession is reframed as devotion. We're taught that needing someone desperately is proof of deep love, but it's not. It's proof of unmet needs and unhealed wounds that you're trying to fix through another person. The novelist Toni Morrison said, "Love is never any better than the lover. If you're not whole, your love can't be whole. If you're not healthy, your love can't be healthy. If you're using someone else to feel okay, you're not loving them. You're using them, even if you're not doing it consciously. Even if you believe it's love, the impact is the same. So how do you know if you're in companionship or dependency? Ask yourself, can I be okay when they're not around? Do I have my own life, my own interests, my own sources of joy? Can I handle them having a bad day without it ruining mine? Can I give them space without feeling abandoned? Do I trust the relationship is solid even when we're not together? Can I soothe myself when I'm anxious rather than immediately needing them to do it? If the answer to most of these is no, you're in dependency territory. And that's not a moral failing, it's just information. It's a sign that there's work to do. Not to become some completely self-sufficient island that doesn't need anyone. That's not the goal. The goal is to become someone who can be in a relationship without requiring the other person to hold you together. Because here's the truth. The people we love deserve to be chosen, not needed. They deserve to be wanted because they're wonderful, not because we can't function without them. They deserve to be companions, not caretakers. They deserve relationships where both people are whole, where connection enhances rather than enables, where love is generous rather than desperate. And you deserve that too. You deserve to experience the freedom of being with someone because you want to, not because you'll fall apart without them. You deserve the confidence to know you're okay on your own, and you're even better together. You deserve companionship, genuine companionship, where you can be vulnerable without being helpless, where you can need support without needing rescue, where you can love someone without losing yourself. That's not easy to build. It requires doing your own work, facing your wounds, learning to regulate yourself, developing your own identity, and creating your own life. But it's worth it, because the alternative, desperate, clinging, suffocating dependency that masquerades as love might feel intense, but it's not sustainable. It burns out, it collapses, it takes both people down. So choose companionship, choose wholeness, choose to do the hard work of becoming someone who can truly be with another person, rather than someone who needs another person to exist. Because emotional dependency isn't love, it's fear wearing love's clothes. And you deserve better than that. You deserve the real thing. You deserve companionship. That is it for today. You've been listening to The Guide on the Side, where I share what I'm learning from people, books, and conversations. I hope something here stays with you, sparks a thought, or opens a door. I'm Ivan, and I'll be back soon with more. Until next time, may your days be full of curiosity, and I'll see you in the next episode.